Welcome everyone to this week's Fish Friday. We are on Fish Friday number 11 and we have a good one today. This one was actually requested by a coworker of mine. This is a really important fish for a couple of different reasons. And let's get right to it. Today's fish is the smallmouth buffalo. So, really different fish, don't you think? The smallmouth buffalo, scientific name Ictiobus bubalis. This is native to the Mississippi River Basin, so this is a North American fish. It has been transplanted to almost every state, so it has been spread way outside of its native range. As you can see, it does have large scales. So if you know what a carp looks like, you can think kind of carp size. Not quite that big, but pretty darn big. It does come in a very wide array of colors, as you can see here. Not all these are smallmouth buffalo, but you can see all the different color patterns. You know, you got your olive green, your gold, your very gray sort of things. So it does have a wide array of color, but they're all muted. It's not like they're just bam bright gold or bam bright green. They're your olive greens sort of things. They have extremely large eyes, as you can see here. Most fish don't actually have like this size of eye, but these have a very large black looking eye. This is a stocky fish, so it's real thick. As you can see in these pictures here, you can tell that this is a little chunky fish. Chunky boy. And an interesting thing is this has a ventral mouth, meaning that the mouth is actually kind of on the bottom of their chin. So their top lip actually goes over the mouth. So that mouth is actually opening up underneath of them. One easy way to identify this fish is on its top lip. It has very distinct deep grooves. Very distinct deep grooves. As you can see here, it has a flat-ish stomach with the fins, both the pectoral and the anal fins, emerging ventrally, meaning it's going towards the bottom of the body. And they have this hump back right here, and it's kind of keeled. So if you don't know, think of a ship hull. At the front of the ship, you have that V. That's called the keel of a ship, if you didn't know. And these almost have a keeled backbone right there. And what that means between the two combination of those factors, that means that this is going to be in streams that are going to have flow, which we'll get into that a little bit more. Another interesting thing about this dorsal fin of the smallmouth buffalo, you can see it starts kind of at the top of the hump. It goes up to a relatively shallow point, then it really shortens, and then it extends almost all the way back to the tail fin. So pretty neat. These get to about 40 to 60 centimeters in size typically, but they can get much bigger. Obviously, as you can see from these pictures here, they can get big. In fact, the recognized IGFA world record was caught in 1993 in Texas, and it was 82 pounds and 3 ounces. The trotline Texas record, which trot lines are not recognized by the IGFA for actual world records, is actually 97 pounds. So the biggest one caught on rod and reel was 82 pounds 3 ounces, whereas the biggest one caught on a trot line was 97 pounds. So that gives you an idea of how big these fish can get. Now, these fish are found usually in clear streams with moderate to fast flow, and that's where this body shape comes into account. That flat stomach allows them to sit on the bottom, kind of walking on their fins. Well, that keeled back, kind of think of a ship underwater. That keel is breaking that water, making it very hydrodynamic to allow it to sit in these faster flowing streams without expending the energy of trying to keep themselves swimming or on the bottom. They usually are living in streams that have a lot of vegetation with silt bottoms. So think really fine grains, fine sand, you know, very, very small pebbles sort of things. Usually, you know, when you're talking silt, you're talking about sand and dirt bottoms with a lot of vegetation. Diet. These are mainly, in their diet, they are mainly detritivores. So they're going to be eating all the organic materials at the bottom. We'll get into that, guy. All the dead, decaying things on the bottom of the at the bottom of the river. They also eat a lot of algae, and they also eat a lot of insects. So they'll eat all the aquatic insect larvae and zooplankton that is on the bottom in between the rocks as well. So they're just cruising along the bottom looking for things to eat, kind of anything they can get. Here's another picture of it. This is you can tell the big scales. This one's mouth is a little opened because it does kind of open downwards, but it is up there. But this is a slightly better picture in my opinion. Now we get into kind of the most interesting thing about it biologically. This is a very long-lived fish, and it's not well known how long these fish can live. In 2019, there was a scientific study done that looks at otoliths from a commercially harvested population. An otolith is an ear bone. So, humans have like an inner ear, outer ear. They got all those weird bones in their ear that helps with balance, things like that. Well, fish have the same thing, but it's just one singular bone that's called an otolith. And one great thing about those otoliths is they are very, very good at aging a fish. Think tree rings. That's how an otolith is done. So in 2019, the study looked at the otoliths from a commercially harvested population, and it was found that even with the harvest, half of the sample was 20 years or older, with the oldest being 39 years old. That means that the likely lifespan of wild smallmouth buffalo is much, much higher than 40 years old. That's its likely lifespan. Because when you are in a commercially harvested fish population, normally you expect your average age to go down because you're getting all those older fish. So the more older fish you harvest, the more your centroid of ages starts shifting to younger and younger fish. Now, as you can tell, there is some commercial harvest of this, as I just said. This used to be thought of as a trash fish. Looked very, very looked down upon. Thought it was trash. People were like, oh, you can't eat it, this and yada yada. But it's actually, it can be eaten. It's kind of like your normal fish sort of thing. It's not the best tasting fish, but it's not the worst. But this is the most common commercially sold freshwater fish in North America. Now, I want you to think of that. The most common commercially sold freshwater fish in North America. Think how much of this fish is caught then, if it is the most commercially sold freshwater fish. It's a lot of fish. A lot of this is going to dog food meals and, getting fish meal. A lot of people have never heard of it, J-Guy. Now, something else that has come from this is that it has actually gotten a lot of popularity recently. Bow fishing for this fish, especially nighttime bow fishing for this, has become increasingly popular. And as you can see, there's a lot of people that actually go for it for rod and reel. If you look at the pictures, a lot of these are people that are showing off their big catches. So, it has gained much much more popularity in recent years as an actual game fish. One last quick thing. Well, as we all say goodbye to Mrs. Ping. Well, hi, bye. I love you. Have a good day at work. One kind of last good thing about this is this fish is actually looked at as a sign of a healthy ecosystem. Even though this fish can kind of survive a wide range of abilities, normally if you find this fish, that means your water quality is good. Even though it can survive a wide range of things. So, but there are other fish that are better indicators of a healthy ecosystem, but you can kind of use this. Something to note, the difference between this and a carp, which a lot of people would confuse this fish with. The smallmouth buffalo does not have these barbels, the whiskers at the side. So that's about what you're going to most likely confuse it with. Or you find it with a big mouth buffalo. Big mouth buffalo is looks very similar, but the mouth actually it extends towards the middle of the mouth. So like this right here, there's a good example. That's a big mouth buffalo mouth. It's going forward. So, but if it was like a carp, they do kind of similar things, Chip. Carp get much, much, much bigger. Carp get very, very big. But thank you guys so much for stopping in for this Fish Friday. I really appreciate it and hope to see you again. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Listen, guys, if you comment, I'm going to answer, especially if you're asking a fish question or if you want to see a fish. I don't have that many requests for fish, especially saltwater. So if you have a saltwater request on a fish that a lot of people don't know about, we try and stick away from popular fish. However, our next two freshwater fish are going to be very well-known fish species, but they are very important and we need to talk about. So thank you guys so much again. Hope you appreciate it. I know I love these, but take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, and peace.